I think what interests me about this industry is that everything we touch on a daily basis has at one point in time been on a truck.
There's so much depth to the industry. It underpins the entire economy. It's used in just about everything that we use day to day. And there's always a new story or a new challenge that you need to solve.
It is such an untapped industry in terms of its size and its importance. There's just so much data that still is really nascent and again, untapped.
There's an enormous opportunity for fleets to do a better job with their data. So that's really what I see going into the 2020s is fleets taking this data that they have and actually making changes, not at a theoretical level, but on the front lines.
Prior to this, people didn't really get a good view of what their trucks were doing day in and day out. A lot of customers are getting this new data and finding ways to optimize their business, from fuel economy to driver habits.
Trucking companies and carriers and users of telematics devices and fleets can use products to determine whether or not a service is actually worth their while. That is a trend you're going to see continuing.
We're currently seeing a commoditization of some of the traditional vendors in trucking. I believe that we're going to see a greater uptick in the adoption of those different solutions and a greater mixing and matching of the solutions that the carrier uses day to day to run their business.
With the data that's available today, we can now service customers in a way, add more value, create more distinction between the offering. So I think we're really going to see a big shift in the value that trucking can bring on an individual company by company basis.
I think the industry itself is going to feel that pull where you've got to deliver what the customer is expecting. And data is playing a big role on that.
Well, the trucking industry is an industry of margin. And I believe the companies that will win over the next decade, I'll even go so far as to say the companies that will survive over the next decade, will be the ones that effectively gather, utilize, and process data.